Hello, everyone, and welcome to this series this week, which we're putting on with our colleagues from the other yellow card centres in the country to celebrate Medicine Safety Week this week. So without further ado, it's over to Jenna in Wales, who's going to do the first presentation about the yellow card scheme and the yellow card centres. So over to you, Jenna.
Brilliant, thanks Christopher. I'm just going to share my screen so you'll be able to see the slides. There we are. Can everyone see these? I'm going to go with a yes. So as Christopher said, to the first session of our Medicine Safety mini-series, which are being put on by the Yellow Card Centres from across the UK. My name is Jenna, and I'm a pharmacist at the Yellow Card Centre in Wales, which is based in Cardiff. I will apologise first off if I start coughing halfway through. You should be quite safe though, because my COVID test was negative. I thought I would start the session today with just talking a little bit about Med Safety Week, why it's important and why it is that the Yellow Card Centres support this campaign every year. I'll also talk about the Yellow Card scheme, as you could probably have guessed. And then finally, I'll talk a bit about the Yellow Card Centres, what it is that we do, and how we may be able to support you and your colleagues. So when we think about Med Safety Week, around the world, there are numerous bodies or organisations known as regulators, and these are responsible for making sure that the medicines that are used within their countries are safe for all of their population. Now, here in the UK, our medicines regulator is the MHRA, or the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. In order to help them make sure that medicines are safe, they do rely on people reporting adverse drug reactions via the various reporting systems around the world. Here in the UK, our reporting system is the Yellow Card scheme. Unfortunately, all reporting systems suffer from underreporting, and it's currently estimated that only about 10% of any adverse drug reactions ever get reported. That's the reason why every year the Uppsala Monitoring Centre, which is an independent centre based in Sweden, coordinates an annual social media campaign in order to promote the recognition and the reporting of suspected side effects. So that reason, every year, 1 week, usually the first week of November, as is today, medicine regulators from across the world simultaneously share these campaign materials on their social media, all with the same hashtag, in the aim to increase awareness, as we said, of suspected side effects. Now, this year there are 74 countries taking part, which is brilliant. Usually the campaign centres around a specific group of patients, with the aim of trying to encourage those patients to increase their reporting. Some of the campaigns that we've done previously, we've had polypharmacy, so patients who are taking multiple medicines. They've also looked at children and pregnant people, trying to encourage reports for those. And over-the-counter products is also something that we've looked at before. This year, since the beginning of the COVID pandemic, there's been a real decrease in the number of adverse drug reactions that have been reported to reporting systems across the world. So this year's campaign really goes back to basics. So the campaign aims to encourage patients, carers and healthcare professionals to report suspected side effects from medicines. They can be new medicines or things been around for a long time or that the patient has been taking for a long time. This year's campaign is also trying to get the message across that every report really does count, and it can help others in the future. There is a really nice video on the campaign page of the Yellow Card website, which features a pharmacist who reported about a concern that she'd identified where a patient nearly choked after using their inhaler incorrectly. And the video really explains how this report resulted in changes being made to the way that the medicine is prescribed and the information that's contained in the information leaflet, so that now that inhaler is more safe for everybody now who's going to be prescribed it. On your screen, you should also see some of the screenshots of the animations that you'll hopefully see this week. So they're designed to be quite comical and eye-catching. So keep an eye out, and hopefully the next time you encounter an adverse drug reaction, they might help prompt you and to remind you of the importance of reporting. Now, I've mentioned the yellow card scheme a couple of times already. Hopefully a lot of you will already be very familiar with this scheme, but for those of you who aren't, I thought I would give a little bit of background information about how the scheme was established. So the yellow card scheme is run by the MHRA and the Commission for Human Medicines, and it's there to collate and to investigate any reports of suspected adverse drug reactions. The scheme was introduced after the thalidomide tragedy, which happened in the early 50s and 60s. And for those of you not familiar with this, this was where thousands of infants are sadly born without arms or legs or ears. Some were partially sighted, some were completely blind. And this was as a result of their mothers taking the drug thalidomide whilst they were pregnant. At the time, there wasn't a central body looking and monitoring the safety of medicines at all across the world. And so this problem went unnoticed for quite some time. That prompted the establishment of the Yellow Card scheme, which was the first in its kind across the world. And it's there to receive spontaneous reports of suspected adverse drug reactions. It's a voluntary reporting system, open for healthcare professionals, but also for patients and members of the public now to report. It's there to act as an early warning system to identify adverse drug reactions and risk factors as early as possible so that we don't have these sorts of problems happening in the future. To date, since the scheme was established just over 50 years ago now, we've had almost 1 million confidential reports across the UK, which is brilliant. And hopefully we'll hear this week that maybe the 1,000th card has been received. Now, obviously, we've mentioned a few reasons why reporting is important. I've already said that the reporting systems are really vital in helping the medicine regulators to make the medicines that are used within their countries as safe as possible. Reporting helps us to detect any rare adverse effects, and I'll come on to that in a little second, but it also helps us to monitor the safety of both old and new medicines. Now, when it comes to new drugs, they obviously go through a rigorous clinical trial process. However, during that time, they are only exposed to about 3,000 to 4,000 people, and usually only for a short duration of time. Therefore, they're unlikely to pick up any adverse drug reaction that happens rarely or anything less frequently than 1 in 4,000 patients, or those that take a long time for them to appear. There's also a real lack of experience in certain groups of patients. So older people, children, people who are pregnant or have multiple diseases, or those taking lots of medicines are often not included in the clinical trials. So it's only when these medicines come onto the market and start being used in these groups of people that we might identify some of the adverse drug reactions that might happen specifically in these groups. That is really why the Yellow Card scheme is important, and why the MHRA is keen to promote the use of the scheme. In order to help them to do this, they've commissioned 5 regional Yellow Card centres, which is where we come in. And there are 5 centres, as I said, across the UK. So starting at the top, there's a Yellow Card Centre Scotland, which is based in Edinburgh, and they are responsible for promoting reporting across the entirety of Scotland. There's a Yellow Card Centre in Northern and Yorkshire, based up in Newcastle. There's one in the Northwest in Liverpool. There's one in the Midlands in Birmingham. And then finally, we've got the Yellow Card Centre here in Wales, which is based in Cardiff. Now, our role is really to promote the reporting of suspected adverse drug reactions and to try to educate people about reporting and how to identify adverse reactions. We give a lot of training information to healthcare professionals, patients and representative organisations. We promote or we provide lots of promotional materials, and we come up with some of these innovative ways of trying to get messages across. We also have exhibition stalls, presentations, workshops, and we offer training in lots of different local settings across the country. Now, prior to COVID, a lot of what we would do would be face-to-face. So we'd have stands at conferences, we'd give lectures or workshops at universities for the undergraduates, or there'd be information sessions for patient groups. Now, because of COVID, we are moving more to virtual methods, hence today, and hopefully that's something that we can build on in the future. Now, to help us with our work, the MHRA also gives us some information about the levels of reporting within our specific regions, and that can help us to really identify, local NHS trusts or health boards, or certain types of reporting groups, and certain groups of healthcare professionals that might be able to benefit from some additional information or being targeted to encourage to report. Now, if you would like to find out more about adverse drug reactions in general or about the Yellow Card scheme, then I would really encourage you to get in touch with your local Yellow Card Centre, and you will be able to find the details of which your centre is on the Yellow Card website on the link that I've included on the slide. If you want to find out some more about the Med Safety Week campaign, then there's a lot of information on the campaign website. You'll be able to download the animations and share those on your social media channels in order to help support the campaign and to raise awareness. There's also a lot of information on the Yellow Card website, where there's not only campaign materials, but you can also report side effects via the website, or download some information leaflets or posters. There's also an e-learning pack, which is available for all healthcare professionals to complete, and it might be useful for any CPD requirements that you need to undertake. I will add that there is a specific e-learning package available for those in Scotland via the YCC Scotland website. So I would encourage you to have a look because it's really good. And if you do want to support the campaign, then you will find all of the campaign materials being shared by the Yellow Card Centres and the MHRA on all of our social media channels. That is all from me. So all that's left is to say thank you very much for tuning in, and I'd like to see you all back tomorrow for the remainder of the sessions this week. So tomorrow's session will be a virtual quiz hosted by our colleagues in the West Midlands Yellow Card Centre, which I will be really interesting and fun. So hope to see you then. I'm happy to take any questions if they're specific to this session. Alternatively, we have a Q&A happening on Friday where we'll have a member of the MHRA as our guest. So some questions we'll be able to direct their way. If you just type them in the chat, and then we will be able to answer those questions appropriately. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jenna. As Jenna said, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. No? Well, thank you for everybody's attendance. And as Jenna said, these webinars are happening for 20 minutes each lunchtime. There's a question now. So Sophie asks, is it the e-learning module? Is it the BMJ one that's on the YCC website?
So the e-learning pack that I'm aware that's on the Yellow Card website is the one that the MHRA put together as part of the Scope Joint Action project. I'm not sure if it's been published in the BMJ, but certainly that's the one that's on the website. Don't know if anyone else from the Yellow Card centres are aware.
I'm not aware. As you said, I'm aware that Scotland has one of its own, as does Script, based in the West Midlands. Alex, do you want to say anything about the Scottish one?
I think Alex is muted.
Hi, yeah, sorry, I tried to unmute myself. Yeah, we have a module here in Scotland that is put together with NHS Education for Scotland. It counts for accreditation for pharmacists here, and it's open for anyone to complete. And I can post the link if that would be helpful.
If you could, please, Alex. And as I said, in the West Midlands, there is Script, which is www.safeprescriber.org. As I'll also put that link in the chat too.
Okay, that's the link to our training page I've just posted just now. The modules are accessible. There are 6 in total, and they're each accessible via an individual link on that page.
Thank you, Alex. Any more questions for Jenna or any of the other regional centres? Oh, well, thank you again, Jenna. I hope to see you all tomorrow, where I will be talking about quizzes and what we've done. And do spread the word. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.